Ben Rush from the Fat Jack Sports Service. It is halftime. Getting ready to watch Kendrick Lamar. Jack, how many Kendrick Lamar songs do you know?
Zero.
You'll know. I think you'll know one. You'll recognize one.
I know some Childish Gambino songs.
That is not him. He's not. But we don't know who's going to make like an appearance.
Well, I'll let you know. I went to Cheap Trick last night.
Yes.
And out of 12 or 13 songs, I knew 2. I Want You to Want Me and Flame. The Flame. I knew that one too. And he stole one from somebody else, but that was about it. So first half. Unexpected.
A televised murder.
Yeah, it's one of those things we talk about on the show a lot about how turnovers and game script have a lot to do when you have evenly matched teams. And what we're seeing here is a great example of that. You have 2 turnovers by Kansas City early that have both resulted in points. So now, not only is the side skewed, which either of these teams, if you said before, one of them's going to turn it over twice, the other one's not, that team is probably going to be behind at halftime. Especially if you say they turned it over twice and it resulted in 14 points. That team's probably going to be down, which they are, big. The total now becomes a thing because you've added 14 points to what should be about a 17-0 game or 10-7 type game, because the moral of the first half is Kansas City can't move it at all, and Philadelphia's moved it pretty well, right? I mean, Philadelphia hasn't been great offensively. They just got 14 points off of turnovers.
So with that being said, what's the rest of the game look like? I mean,
the total over is absolutely
in play
for sure, because Kansas City, you don't expect, especially if Philly goes in and decides to go back to more of a shell coverage. So at this point, they're 4 corners, will hold the lead, will run the ball effectively. Let's not make mistakes. We saw that toward the end of the first half. It could have gone down the field a little bit, didn't, decide not to. All of those props that are receptions over, passes over, or frankly, if you're Kansas City rushing props, those are probably dead.
Yeah.
If you have Kelsey over, probably not dead yet. Hopkins only has like 13 yards as his over-under. He just dropped one for 16 or so. So those type are probably still in play. But if you're looking at rushing, Kansas City's not going to run it.
They haven't yet today.
Even though if they want to try to run it, that's great. But they can't, so that's going to be a big problem. And Philly's only going to run it. So the thing, if I was nervous, it'd be if I had like Goddard. If I had him over, he's got, 2 or 3 right now?
He has 2 catches for like 40-something yards.
So it becomes how many times in the second half are they going to throw it? And if they are throwing it, why aren't they going to Brown on some type of man-to-man coverage down the sidelines? Yeah. So that I wouldn't be nervous about that. I'd be nervous about any type of passing yards with Hurts. I would not be nervous about passing yards just yet with Mahomes, because he's going to throw it a ton. And I think they'll go in and reset their defense, and I think that'll probably be more of a shell coverage, give some underneath stuff. So Kansas City obviously can execute. If they need to, they can. So that total, we have under. Not super happy about it, but not really ready to hedge it yet either. There's no hedge room. And if Kansas City can't get it going, we've seen nothing to think that they can move the ball. Their front four lines get dominated by the front four. If that doesn't change, they're not going to get 20 points. If they don't get 20, it stays under.
Kansas City has to do what on this first drive? Do they have to get 6? Do they have to get points? They
don't have to get on the first drive. You're talking about for them to get back in the game?
Yeah.
Yeah, the game's over.
It's done.
The game's over.
Philly's won the Super Bowl.
Philly's won the Super Bowl. I don't see
Kansas
any
City's been down double digits in 4 straight Super Bowls.
Congratulations on comebacks. Here's the problem, though. Their front 4 of Philly is getting home at will. We've seen very little out of Philly's offense. You can't turn the ball over in the Super Bowl and give them points because there's not enough time left. So do it this way. How many possessions is Kansas City going to get in the second half? When Philly, if they only pick up 1 first down and run the ball doing it in every one of their possessions.
I mean, at most, they're going to have 5. Kansas City's going to have 5 possessions at most.
Let's give them
the rest
6.
Of the game. They're down 3 possessions at this point.
So what happened? Is Philly going to turn it over all of a sudden?
We've seen Jalen Hurts in these situations have turnover problems. We've seen A.J. Brown.
All they're going to have to do is turn and hand it to Saquon Barkley and get 1 first down
every drive,
and Kansas City will run out of possessions based on the fact that they haven't moved it at all in the ground or through the air. So Philly doesn't have to bring blitz packages, and they're not going to score in 1 play. It's going to take them some time to get down the field. Kansas City, that is, even if they get there. So, no, if you're a Chiefs fan, great year. You've already done, in my opinion, too much damage to overcome what's happened, and that's if Philly doesn't score again. The total is the only thing left, in my opinion, because if Kansas City does score at some point in the third quarter, at least 6 or 7, then Philly will be forced to open it up a little bit, throw some under routes, throw to A.J. Brown. That's what gets the total. And then you get that back door. Now, our props are killing it right now, and one of the props is fourth quarter over 13.5 points, and the fourth quarter being the highest scoring quarter. So that's tougher because you got 17 out of the third quarter because of turnover, or about the second quarter turnovers. But we're going to make money today regardless. That's why you don't see me upset, because the props are going to make money regardless. I didn't release a side, and the total's still in pretty good shape.
All right, we're going to watch Kendrick Lamar. We'll be back after the game.